All right, nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.
So, how have things been since the last time we spoke last week?
It's been good. It's been pretty stressful. A lot's been going on, I think.
Stressful?
So, yeah, it's been pretty stressful.
What's been stressful about it?
So, my boyfriend, he travels for work, so I am home a lot. So, he recently just went on a storm. So, he's been gone for the entire week. And he'd probably be gone for a couple more weeks just because of the hurricane. So, it's been stressful being home alone.
What's on the storm?
So he chases storm for his job.
Oh,
So when
really?
there's like a hurricane or a storm, he leaves out of state and he has to go and help
Oh,
with the poles and
interesting.
everything.
Cool.
So,
Okay, so he's been gone for some time.
yeah,
And how's that been being?
it's hard because I think I have past attachment issues that I've gotten better with, but being alone and away from everything, it's been really hard. And since I don't live around my family anymore, I don't really have like a support system. I'm kind of just like all alone.
Right.
So.
And I know you mentioned last time that sometimes you would go out of state to visit family.
Yeah, and I
Have you
tried to, but recently I've been too busy. It was school and everything, and it's a long commute, so I haven't
Right.
been able to get back down. So
Okay. So what have you been doing in the meantime to occupy yourself?
not really much, just schoolwork, and then when I get home, I try and sleep as much as I can. Kind of like waste the days away, I guess.
Sleep it off.
Yeah,
Now, do you feel like that's helpful, or
in a way, because if
Yeah.
I'm not awake, I'm not thinking or like overthinking, or I'm not feeling lonely.
so maybe do you think it could be a bit of avoidance?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, I know last session you mentioned a little bit about the abuse and neglect, and you weren't really considering it much of an abusive relationship to an extent. I mean, has that gotten has that escalated at all, or has things kind of been? I just want you to come up with something to not lead you down that path any further.
Yeah.
So, what do you think some things could be to help could actually help you resolve going down that path
Mm. I feel like maybe like identifying if it is abuse. I think I have a hard time acknowledging whether it's wrong or right in a situation because I've been in abusive relationships before. So sometimes I think it's some of the things are normal. Maybe they're not to other people.
again?
So I think maybe not being so blind to like what's happening in my relationship,
Yeah,
whether it's healthy or unhealthy.
and maybe figuring out too, like, what is a healthy relationship? Like, what does a healthy relationship look like, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think by doing that, you could come up with some better ideas and some goals that you would like to see flourish from your relationship. Do you have anything in mind that you would like to? That if you were to envision a perfect relationship with your boyfriend, what are some things that you would include in that?
I think like probably improving like communication skills and like when we get mad and stuff, like kind of just do better at not escalating the situation.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're both really stubborn and we don't own up to what we do right away because when we're mad, we see red and we don't see each other's feelings.
Right.
So I think working on that, I think I need to start by working on myself, honestly.
Right.
Because I think I have so many internal problems and stuff that I've never gotten over, like past issues wise, and I bring it into my relationship.
Okay.
So I feel like most of the time I do start things, but then maybe he like takes it, it's like way out of hand. So I don't know, I just improving communication. I'm genuinely happy with him until, we have those little moments.
Right, and then it's like
Yeah, I feel like we kind of fight. When we fight like brother and sister.
Okay.
Like we're too comfortable fighting. So
yeah, understandable.
maybe establishing boundaries there.
And I know you mentioned something from like your past, like, and that's something I wanted to touch on too. Like, is there anything from clearly from your past, like even as a child or other previous relationships, that like this is kind of what you were shown a relationship was supposed to be like, or was included in a relationship, no matter it be a romantic relationship or a friendship. Like, is there anything
Healthy wise or like
unhealthy
unhealthy?
wise that has taught you uh, that like this is okay in a sense, like this is normal in a relationship?
I think like my last relationship, I felt like I shut down my feelings a lot, and I kind of that, and I still do that now because when someone gets mad at me or like raises their voice at me, I feel like I'm always in the wrong. I feel like no matter what it is, if I upset that person, it's my fault, and I
Okay.
feel like I just feel like that from my last relationship because no matter what, it was always turned against me. So I feel like I'm always the one having to apologize. And that's even like with friendships because I don't ever mean to hurt someone. So if they are upset or if they are mad at me, I automatically am like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, that's my fault.
Right.
Even if I don't feel like it is, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so you might be on the defense a little bit sometimes and take on everything.
Yeah. I feel like I
Which
make
can-
everyone out to be the victim, even if I'm the actual victim.
And that can just cause more stress and anxiety and all those other things.
Yeah, because I
in
just
your
feel
life.
like my feelings are not valid. So
And your feelings are valid, right? Now, feelings aren't always facts, right? Like you're allowed to feel how you feel, but I don't believe that how you feel is could be really what's going on.
Mhm.
If that makes sense. All right, so some goals for you to come up with, working on that relationship, and not let it lead to further neglect or abuse or bickering back and forth would be, what do you think? Some goals you can come up with.
mm,
At least three. Like I know you mentioned the communication, and it could start with you, right?
yeah, I think maybe at least trying to express my feelings. Like
Now also it's about like the tone too, right? So
Yeah.
like how do you express your feelings? Like in what tone are you gonna express your feelings?
yeah,
Because how you express your feelings and emotions towards him kind of influences his reaction,
right,
right?
yeah. So I guess maybe put inside like time to express my feelings and talk to him when we're both like calm. So like if I like wait in at least like if I get mad about something, maybe take in 15 minutes or so,
Mhm.
kind of just
Okay.
take in deep breaths. And then if it still bothers me after that 15, then I can talk to him calmly about it. But I think I overreact in the moment if I'm angry. So I need to take like a breath, take some time, and then if it's still bothering me afterwards, then set time to talk to
I
him.
like that idea. And then two, I think like reflecting back on your past relationships and what they look like, and then what you would like to bring into this relationship that is positive rather than negative from those past relationships. What do you think you could see something? If that question makes sense, like
Yeah, I think something I would want to bring, like that I used to get, was a lot of reassurance
okay,
from like my past relationships, and I think I lack that in this relationship. He's not as caring and kind. He's not like a very how do you put it, like emotional person or a lovey person.
you're a little rough around the edges.
Yeah, so he doesn't like give me the affection that I used to get that I like really liked. Like that's what I love is affection. So I think maybe I can try and like talk to him about it and see if
Yeah, like if there's a way that he can improve on something, say, hey, this is how I'm feeling. These are some of my needs,
Mm-hmm.
or something I would, I love you,
Yeah.
and I want to be more affectionate with you.
Yeah. So maybe if I start saying like at least some like affectionate words every day, maybe it'll like
Yeah.
play back. Or even, this might sound ridiculous, coming up with like a list of things, and by the end of the week, if he doesn't like say certain things, I can kind of like bring it to his attention, like, hey, I would like for you to say I love you more or something, be a little more affectionate.
Or like ask about my day.
Yeah.
And I know you can do those things with him, and then it hurts not receiving that back.
Mm-hmm.
I can only imagine. Right. So I think that's a good plan for you. Like to reassure him, tell him about things that you would like to see more of, and hope that he makes that effort. Right. Right. And then I know another thing we touched on was your anxiety and the OCD. How do you feel that those two things have been coinciding together? Like, has it been the same? You think?
It's been the same, but it gets worse when I'm alone because I don't have somebody. I guess whenever I'm alone, I don't feel safe. It's like maybe, and that's just because staying in a house by yourself.
Yeah.
It's hard. So whenever I'm alone, I have more of like these thoughts and things that just kind of reoccur and like take over.
I know you did mention about having pets too.
Mm-hmm.
So remind me again what kind of pets you have. I know you said.
I have a mutt and then a pit bull.
A mutt and a pit bull.
Yeah. And they're big dogs, and yes, they sound scary, so I should feel safe. But it's still hard.
But no, not even that. Like just getting like the affection and love from the dog, right? And not feeling so alone. Like for instance, like I live alone with my dog.
Mm-hmm.
I cuddle my dog as much as I can, right? Because I too need that love and affection, and when somebody doesn't get that, it can be tough.
Yeah.
Right, and I hear that's how it is for you. So, with him being gone, and you being home alone, and your anxiety is amplified more than it usually is. I want to ask you, like, what are some things that you could try to reduce those anxieties and occupy your time and keep your mind off of actually being alone?
I think one could probably be journaling.
Okay.
Writing down my feelings at least once a week. Probably not every day, but at least once a week if I'm feeling anxious, I can kind of write down like maybe my uncertainties and then we can kind of talk about them. I guess.
Okay.
I think I know I need to practice more like self-care, because sleeping to me is not self-care. I feel like it's just an avoidance, kind of like you said.
Right.
So maybe practicing at least one self-care activity a day or once a week at least.
And maybe getting on like some type of routine for bedtime and not.
So I'm not going to bed at 6.
Yeah, right. So
Yeah.
like making sure you get your, what do they say, get to have like 6 to 8 hours of sleep is like normal. Do you think you're getting more than that?
Yeah, I'm getting way too much
Way
sleep.
too much
Yeah.
sleep, right? And that could be bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
That could make things for you. That could make you feel more anxiety driven at times. Because then I know too much sleep sometimes also causes you to be more tired.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm always
right?
tired.
And then if you're more tired, how are you going to get that energy, right?
Right.
Like, I don't know if you're physical at all. Like
I try to be, but when I'm alone and I have no motivation to do anything, I don't. So, but I know I need to.
So
push
we need to
myself.
motivate yourself.
Yeah.
We need to. So maybe do the opposite of your first thought. Right? If you want to sit there and take a nap, force yourself to get up and take the dog for a walk or something. Or some ideas. Do you think those are something like things that you could be able to do to
Yeah, I think that's
man-
manageable.
manageable.
Mhm.
Okay. And then the OCD gets worse as your anxiety gets worse. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Or was it your OCD?
It's like when my anxiety's high, I feel like my OCD gets bad. Like, yeah, it gets worse.
And does your partner like judge you on that? Does he?
Only with my cleaning.
Yeah,
Because he makes fun of my cleaning. Because when I'm like overwhelmed, I go into like cleaning rage, and I'm mad at everyone, and I just have to.
So you like manically clean?
It's bad. Yeah.
Okay. Now that hasn't been the case since he's been gone? Like you feel like
No, I still clean, but it's more of like I can't leave. I'm scared to leave my house because I'm scared like my house is gonna catch on fire or something, and then my dogs would die, and that scares me. Like I have all of these like negative thoughts that like prevents me from doing things. I'm scared to leave the house because I feel like I'm gonna die, or I feel like when my boyfriend is working, he's gonna die and something's gonna happen. I feel like I'm really scared of death for some reason, and that's like what my negative thoughts are about is death.
Yeah.
So it makes me not want to leave the house or do anything.
Okay. So you're fear driven.
Yeah.
So we need to break down those fears and help you try to walk through them with grace and come up with certain things that could alleviate that fear.
Yeah, you know that like everyone says live like with the mindset like tomorrow's your last day, so kind of just like live free. Like that's what I want to be able to do.
Yeah.
Just don't know how to get there.
And it's tough to get there. It takes practice.
Yeah.
Right. So like you have to start practicing. I know like they say tomorrow's not promised, and you don't want to live in the past. Because I hear you, and I feel like it's normal for a lot of people to bring their past into their present, and that just messes up the present, right?
Yeah.
And then you worry about what that's going to bring in the future.
Yeah.
And then you just want one big ball of anxiety and
yeah. I think it makes it worse because like I've never dealt with grief. Like I've lost pets and I've lost like relatives that I wasn't super close with, but I've never lost anyone close to me, so I don't know what like the grieving process is like, and I think that's what scares me. So since I've gone all this time without losing someone close to me, for some reason I have a feeling like it's my time.
Okay.
Like it's gonna happen, and that I'm so fearful of it happening.
So could you do some research on the grief process and learn about like ways to grieve and set that up as like?
Is that crazy for me though?
I don't think it's
preparing
crazy.
for grief. Like I feel like my thoughts are so like everywhere.
No, that's not crazy at all. That's one of the things I hear a lot of people struggle with is loss, right? And a lot of times we don't know how to deal with loss properly. And is there a right way to deal with loss? I don't think so. I think everybody deals with it differently. Yeah. And I don't think there's anything wrong with how you're dealing with it. Although we can work together to come up with different ways for you to walk through that fear of loss and grief, and when those feelings come up, what are you going to do to tell yourself, hey, here I'm feeling like this, how can I redirect my thoughts, right? Do you want to give me some example of how maybe you could do that? And I know having never done that before might be tough, but give it a shot.
Well, since like I'm pretty religious, I feel like I need to, in a way, like to prepare for grief is kind of like that's something I need to work out between me and God maybe, and like pray about it. So like start praying every day when I get those bad thoughts, journaling or doing like a devotion or something, because I know that like when it's your time, like that's up to God, and So maybe, yeah, I need to like set a goal of like praying when I feel like that. Um,
Okay. So praying.
Maybe taking a walk to clear my head.
Yeah.
Like getting away, like getting out of the house when I feel overwhelmed, kind of just walking it off.
And going on mindful walks.
Yeah.
Like, you know the difference between just a walk being and going on a mindful walk?
Yeah.
What is the difference?
Kind of like maybe practicing breathing while I do it, or kind of like doing something, like thinking of like something positive, something that relaxes me. Maybe listening to like positive affirmations or like a positive podcast or something. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, and being mindful of like you know when I do it, for instance, I go on silent walks and I pay attention to the birds chirping or how the sky looks or the plants somebody has in front of their house, or just I'm mindful of my surroundings, and by doing that I get my thoughts of whatever is going on in my head. I find alleviates by the end of my walk. So that's a great idea that you can do. So pray, go on walks. What else do you think?
Maybe making a list of like the uncertainties and trying to turn them into a positive one.
Okay.
So kind of like redirecting my thoughts.
Like a pros and cons type of list, but not actually pros and cons.
If I write a negative thought, write a positive one.
Right. And then you can go back and look at that, and when you're feeling negative, and say, hey, this is how I'm feeling. This is what I'm going to do different to turn that thought around.
Right.
Great idea. I like that. So you're going to try journaling once a week. Now I know stress has been a big thing in your life too. I know we touched on that and how you would, you know, what are some things that besides your relationship and your anxiety and OCD causes some stress in your life?
School.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. I think I put a lot on my plate. And I feel like I try to do so much and all at once too. Like I kind of let things overwhelm me. Like if the house is not clean, I have to clean. And if something else is not done, I have to think about doing that. Like I feel like my schedule's so full, maybe in reality it's not. I just kind of like overwhelm myself with everything that needs to be done. If that makes sense.
Oh yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
There's not enough what I like to call balance.
Yeah.
Right? How can we balance your life better?
Maybe trying to write a schedule.
Exactly. Yeah, I love that idea. That's what I have to do. I have to write a schedule. So coming up with certain time, like, you know, some people work better on a schedule and when everything's planned out. That way you don't feel like you got the weight of the world on your shoulders and you're rushing around trying to do this and that. So coming up with a schedule, and what would that schedule look like for like a normal day?
Like planning out when I need to do schoolwork, when I'm gonna do my self-care or maybe my walks. Maybe I should designate a certain amount of time to clean and just, I think that's what I need. Maybe set a timer to clean.
That's a good idea.
When the timer's up,
that.
No more cleaning.
Right. Tell yourself to sit down and that's enough clean. The house is clean enough for the day.
Yeah.
Right.
And then setting a time to go to sleep.
Okay. So routine for sleep, routine for coming up with cleaning, balancing your schoolwork. You mentioned self-care. What does self-care look like for you?
Maybe reading a book. I like to read.
Yeah. Okay.
Or doing like a face mask or something.
Yeah. just having you time.
Yeah.
Treating yourself,
Yeah.
pampering yourself is important. So I know were you seeing anybody, you were seeing somebody prior to me, but I know you mentioned, um, therapy has been challenging for you, like coming and going. How do you feel after our first session? And I'm happy that you came back. That's a start. How do you feel that like you see therapy progressing, um, with this relationship here? Like, do you think it's something that you would stick with?
I think so. I think like I want to work through my goals, so I want to be able to achieve them.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel pretty comfortable talking to you, so I mean, I'm pretty hopeful for yeah. So, and I think I still have a lot to work out, and I think I'm more motivated this time because like I don't want this to keep affecting my self-esteem and my relationship. I just don't want to be unhappy anymore.
Right.
So I think coming back here, trying to achieve my goals, it's really motivating.
Absolutely, so. Yeah, and we can work on, each time you come back, we can work on a certain goal, and or we can talk about whatever has come up within the past week, or if you want to see me bi-weekly, what has come up in between that time that like you're struggling with,
right.
And we can set a goal for that.
Okay.
And we don't necessarily need to put an end time on it, but we can set like, in a month, this is what I want to accomplish. So with the three things, like the abuse, the neglect, or the abuse, the anxiety, the stress. What else did we mention? I think that was it. I want to hear from you, like, what would you like to basically like start working on from now until our next session? Like, what are some things that you think that you can get started with today when you leave here?
Probably like trying to manage my anxiety, since I feel like it's really bad right now with him being gone.
Mm-hmm.
So the anxiety, like the OCD thoughts and stuff like that. So I think working on that first, because I don't know how long he's going to be gone for. So I think it's the most important right now.
Yeah, I was going to ask you how long he's going to be gone for. So you don't know?
Never know.
Really? So, yeah, working on that. Now, do you like keep in touch with him when he's gone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the most part. Sometimes he doesn't have signal depending on where, but for the most part, yeah, we do keep in contact. We talk on the phone. So.
Where is he at right now? Do you know? Did you mention that?
Yeah, he's in Florida.
In Florida, okay. Yeah, I know there was big hurricanes down in Florida.
Yeah.
That's an interesting job.
Yeah, and that's why I'm so like, I'm supportive, and I knew what I was getting myself into when I got together with him. I knew this was his job, and his job is his life. It's like, it makes him happy. So that's why I want to be supportive. I don't want to let these thoughts affect our relationship. I don't want to get mad at him for leaving because I have my own issues I need to deal with.
Right.
Because it makes him happy, and I don't want to take that away from him.
Exactly.
I feel like I'm mean to him when he's gone. Like, I always have an attitude because I just miss him.
You miss him.
And I don't want to do that because that just makes him upset.
So maybe so write that down on your list of negative thoughts, and how you can replace that with positive thoughts. So instead of being angry and upset with him because you miss him, right? It doesn't necessarily like add up, right? So if you miss him, express that to him, and that could probably lead to, when he comes back, being more affectionate with you, right?
Yeah, I definitely play my role. I think why he doesn't. He's not so affectionate because I do have an attitude.
So that's good that you're realizing that. It's like, it's all coming to light, and by it coming to light, then there's we can see how to fix that, and then there's the end in sight. Um, so that's good. So what else has been going on since the last time? Anything else? I know you said your sister's your best friend. Have you? It's been hard to get out of state to go and see
Yeah,
them.
I still FaceTime her. She just had a baby not too long ago, so I
nice.
have a niece now. She'll be 6 months soon. So
Have you met her?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. When she was first born, I was down there all the time. So
Okay.
I was always seeing her, and now it's been hard. I do really miss them, so I'm gonna try to set some time aside to go see them. But we FaceTime a lot, so
Good.
yeah.
You could add that to your balancing list too, like spending time with your family and seeing them. And why is it hard to get down there currently? I know you mentioned that it's hard.
It's 2.5 hours away, and then I have my dogs, and then I commute to school. So it's just hard trying to find somebody to watch my dogs too. I can bring them to my parents' house, but my parents also have 3 dogs, so it's 5 dogs in a house. It's a lot, and they're all big. So I try not to always have to bring them down. So it's much easier during the week when I'm doing school and stuff to just stay home and get my routine together and stuff. My parents also work, so it's not like I'd be seeing them all day.
So it would be on the weekends. Who would you normally get to watch your dogs?
A neighbor. Or sometimes my boyfriend's grandparents will watch them because they live close to my parents.
Okay.
So they would watch them, but they're older and I don't like to be a burden.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay. So that's good. We've talked about a lot. We've come up with some long-term goals that you want to address. I feel like we've come up. Well, not we. I feel like you have come up with those things, right? You've established the short-term goals and how you're going to plan for the future and not allow your insecurities and emotions and fear of the future or grief get the best of you in the present. So I applaud you for that. That's good. And the first thing you said you're going to work on is what?
The anxiety. So I'll start journaling. Is that something you would want me to like bring into a session and talk about with the journal? Like,
yeah, I mean, we can talk about it. And if you're comfortable sharing it, absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like if I'm writing down my uncertainties and stuff, maybe if I can't come up with something positive, maybe you can kind of help direct me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes I'm really bad at seeing the positive.
And I know sometimes, like, coming into a session, like, you might, like, forget everything.
Yeah.
Like, that you want to say or that has happened. And writing it down throughout the week, even if it's once a week, and then you can bring that in and we can go over it and talk about it.
Yeah.
And kind of pinpoint certain things. So that's a good idea as well. We could do that.
I forgot to mention because I'm trying to like not be so attached to my boyfriend. I'm trying to like make friends. That could also be a goal. I know I have a lot of friends already.
I like that goal.
I did join like you know how they have those Facebook groups. You can join like different groups of like people around book clubs, whatever. So I joined this like girls group to maybe there's just a bunch of girls posting it saying like they want friends, let's go get coffee. So I joined the group. I haven't made an effort to meet up with anyone yet, but that's a goal.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a step. You've joined the group.
Yeah. So right now I'm just kind of stalking, like lurking, you know.
Trying to figure out, get a feel for certain
I'm not
people.
engaging yet, but maybe hopefully.
You're on the outside looking in right now, trying to scoop things out.
Because if I have a friend near me, I feel like it would be nice to maybe get out of the house once in a while.
And maybe you can find somebody with a dog and you guys can take your dogs on a walk, or like you said, book club. You guys
I really want to join a book club.
Yeah, I've always wanted to join a book club too. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah.
You guys read the same books, and then you
Talk
can talk
about
about
it. Yeah, because my boyfriend doesn't read, so I've like when I'm really excited about a book, I want to talk to somebody about it.
Yeah, okay.
So
So find somebody that you can share interest with, especially while he's gone.
Yeah.
Right? Because we don't want you feeling alone and going manic, cleaning everything that's already cleaned. Right? So this is great. This is a great start. And I think so next time when you come back, let's have you had journal. You know, you can have write a write a write a bit of journaling. Um, what else can I have you do? I can have you do the negative feelings and replace them with the positive feelings. I think that is a great idea that you came up with. Going on mindfulness walks, right? Setting a routine down so you don't do everything all at once, and that can alleviate, you know, like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders and you have to hurry up and do everything. All right. Is there anything else that you wanna talk about, or anything else that's been bothering you? Doesn't have to be on any of these topics that we talked about. Just
not really. I think I just really need to work on the balance in my schedule.
okay.
That's I think, yeah, and not sleeping all the time. I've
Yes.
just been sleeping a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think I just really need to work on it. But taking my dogs for a walk is a good idea.
I'm sure they would love to get out of the house.
Yeah. I mean, we have like electric fence, but we live right in front of a graveyard. So maybe I can take them out and like walk them around the graveyard. That might be creepy, but it's somewhere to walk them.
It's somewhere to walk them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see people walking around the graveyard all the time. My actual office is, it overlooks a graveyard, and they actually do like 5Ks around there. Like
Really?
people, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's not weird.
Yeah.
You can take a walk in the
It's
graveyard.
a really old grave. It's like 1880, like stones. Like,
and that would be cool
super
too,
old.
to like take a look at like
Yeah.
certain gravestones and think of the history and stuff up there,
Yeah.
and get you outside of yourself, right? Not being obsessed in your head about certain things, and these anxieties that you have. Would be great. So, would you like to come back and see me in a week, 2 weeks? What do you think would be helpful?
Right now I think maybe weekly, and then if I need more time, we can space it out. But while he's gone, I kind of enjoy someone to talk to, so
Okay.
doing weekly would
Weekly
probably
right
work.
now?
Yeah.
Yeah, considering you don't know when he's coming home, and when you talk to him, does he have an idea of how long do you chase the storm for?
Not really. It really depends on how many people are out of power. So like I'll stalk the you can look up power outages in the United States, and it'll
Okay.
show you like what state is like has like 2 million people out of power. So if there's
Wow.
like 2 million people, I know he's probably gonna be there for 2 weeks. Like I kind of already have an idea. He does too in a way, but he still never knows. He could stay for 4 weeks and not know. So
Now, does that worry you when he's gone? Like what he's doing, where he's staying, or like do you know?
like trust wise,
Yeah.
not really, because he's with his crew, and his crew like the people that he hangs out with, I know who he works with, and they're all pretty good guys. They're all married, they have kids, like,
Okay.
and he's always communicating with me, so I always know where he is, like if he's at the hotel or what he's doing. So he
Okay.
is really good with communicating, so I'm not
Good.
super worried.
So maybe, like you said, when you do talk to him, don't try to be easy with him,
I'm
right?
trying.
because you miss him. You're not
Yeah.
upset with him
Yeah.
that he's gone. You're glad that he's doing what he loves, and at the same time, you have needs that need to be met.
Yeah.
So finding a way to express that to him,
Yeah.
kindly and coming from a place of love, right? Because you love him, he's your boyfriend, you want a life with him.
Yeah.
So, great. All right, so we'll make this a weekly thing, until you feel like you want to go to 2 weeks.
Okay.
That is completely your call.
Thursdays probably work best for me.
So
still.
we're gonna do Thursdays.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then if you have a morning appointment, that would probably
Let
be
me
best.
take a look at my schedule. You're available at 9:30.
Yeah, that works.
9:30 next Thursday.
And I'll remember my journal.
All right, do your journal, and we'll talk about that, and we'll talk about some of the goals with your anxiety, and see. We'll put a not a time limit on it, but we'll give yourself a goal to reach the goals.
Okay.
Right.
That works.
All right. Well, thank you for coming in again.
All right,
It's been
thank
great
you.
talking to you, and
You
I'll
too.
see you next time.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.